Daniel Daggers, or Mr. Superprime. Just tell us a bit about how that name came about and what it essentially means as well.
Okay, so I'll frame it. Superprime is a market, essentially, of properties that are valued in excess of £10 million or $10 million of very beautiful homes. Okay, so that's the superprime segment of the market. How I got to Mr. Superprime is that I was focused just specifically on that market, and I recognized that my phone was recognizing other people's names. And so if I was talking about you, I would then often open up my phone and then see there was an article about you, or you just posted. So I thought to myself, what's another reference point for me, and how do I capture a marketplace? And so I nicknamed myself, very happy to admit it, nicknamed myself Mr. Superprime, just as a search function, and also as a commitment to, this is what I do, and if you want a specialist, that's who I am.
So a marketing tool, really?
Yeah, totally, absolutely, yeah. Got a lot of grief for it.
I bet you got a lot of stick for it.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your life as an estate agent prior to setting up DDRE and the work you had to put in to get to that stage.
Okay, so I've been in the industry for 27 years. I know I don't look it. I spent 22 years working for other people, and that means that I was sat at a desk for 22 years of my life with bosses telling me what I should be doing to a certain extent. I was sat in the window for the first 10 years of my life selling apartments between £80,000 and £1 million. And then I moved up and I moved to a bigger business because I felt there was more opportunity there. And it's my responsibility to put myself as close to opportunity as possible. And then I worked through the markets and focused on more expensive homes, then bounced around the world under the Knight Frank umbrella. And that was very interesting. And then I left and set up my own business. But a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, a lot of meeting wealthy people.
Was that always the goal for you? Like, don't really want to be stuck in this commercial corporate world, want to get out and do my own thing?
No. When you come from humble beginnings and you don't go to university and you don't succeed in education, in the education system, you don't have any form of expectation of yourself, and other people don't have that either. And so you sort of end up working really hard, and then you have to recognize opportunity, because the system doesn't take you the way you should be going if you don't have the accreditation of, I came out of Oxford or Cambridge or whatever it is, whatever university it may be. And so you sort of navigate your working life. I would just put in 100% effort, and then when an opportunity arose, I felt it was my responsibility to go and attack it.
I'm a bit intrigued by that. You grew up kind of from very humble beginnings, as you said, council estate. You didn't go to university. When you're then kind of selling homes, and before you set up your business, even of very, very high value in London, what's that kind of feeling like, knowing that you're not even in that position to ever try and buy one of these homes or anything like that? Well, what's that feeling like?
You're always upselling, right? You're selling to people that have more wealth than you and are probably slightly different. I have a lot of empathy for young people in our industry, okay? Because what tends to happen is you can come in at a very low level and you're 17, 18, 19, 20, and you're doing business with people who are in their 30s and 40s and 50s in many instances, and you have nothing in common with them. Zero. Mm-hmm. And so how do you create a form of trust and comfort and a desire for someone to work with you? So I knew that when I was younger and I had very little going for me, except for the fact that I had a lot of energy, I could get on with people, and I knew that I knew nothing. Knowing that you don't know anything means that you can just really start to focus on the customer. And so I said to him, I'm going to save you time, I'll buy you a coffee, and I'll take you to every property that you want to go to. And it will be a nice experience, and we'll go shopping together. And that's what I did for 10 years. And then gradually, as you step up in the industry and you meet wealthy and more successful people, they speak a slightly different language, they value different things, and it's your job to recognize what those things are. And it's sort of like saving time, being super efficient, being analytical, recognizing that data is important, seeing things before other people do, and anticipating change becomes more important. And it's tricky, but you have to evolve.
Yeah.
You have to evolve.
obviously personality is a huge part of being a successful real estate agent. I want to know, have you changed much since that council estate boy to where you are now? Have you had to adapt to your clientele?
Yeah, I don't have a Vauxhall Corsa anymore and a subwoofer in the back, but I do listen to hip hop and R&B all the time. You do adapt with your clients, yeah, 100% you do. I would say the outside of my life has changed, but not the inside of my life. Like, I'm still very much the same person. I've always been quite committed with everything that I do. It's something that my mother taught me, is if I'm going to do something, do it to the best of my ability. And my friendship group has stayed pretty small, but I've had to learn to feel uncomfortable to learn circumstances. So I've traveled much more. Traveling and understanding culture is vitally important when you're an agent, right? Especially in a globalized marketplace. We're doing business with people from all over the world. So understanding the cultures from the Far East to the Middle East to Western culture and how people negotiate and what they want to do, all that sort of stuff changes, and you have to be on top of it.
So let's go to DDRE. How did that start, and what was initially the company's kind of main aim?
The main aim was to offer a better, greater service to our clients. So I think that they're not serviced particularly well. We can tackle like very simple things quickly nowadays with technology that helps the customer. So that's what we really want to focus on. Look, I left a big business, and when you do that, you don't know what your life is going to look like. Everyone who's leaving a business is concerned about whether or not you're setting up your own hedge fund, or you're setting up your own recruitment business or media business, whatever it may be. Whenever you leave that big business, that conglomerate where you sort of honed your skills, you're always nervous whether or not your client's going to come with you. Always. The difference in my scenario is that it was a necessity. I had to set up a business. I needed to earn a living. I couldn't rely on anyone else. And therefore, I just set up the business. And once I saw how the business kept moving, and it moved forward very, very rapidly, and clients and customers were coming to us, I knew that we had to expand the business, and I felt that there was an opportunity there to tackle a market that hasn't been tackled. We are the youngest real estate business in the UK that is in the top 10 of influence at marketing and selling homes over £5 billion in London. And our closest competitors are 40 years older than us. So we're doing something right.
What is that?
We're very focused on the client and customer. Like, there are things that agencies, I think, get really wrong, like talking about market share. Your customer and client doesn't care about market share. In fact, if you focus on market share, you're telling the client that your priority is market share, it's not you. And last time I checked, and I've been doing this for a little while, is that any seller, buyer, landlord or tenant just wants to meet one another as quickly as possible. And if you're interested in market share, there is friction associated with that, because what you want to do is you want to do the business internally. But that goes against what the customer wants and what the client wants, which is, I want to do it as fast as possible. I don't want there to be any bottlenecks or friction moments. So what we do is, any client who's expressing an interest and is really serious about finding a home, we'll find that home irrelevant of whether or not we're marketing it or anyone else is. Now, you have that system in the Middle East, and you have that system in mainland Europe and in the US. But in the UK, you still have these boundaries of agencies. So it's, we only work in this neighborhood, and we won't share fees, and we only work in that neighborhood or this price range. And all of this is irrelevant to the client and customer. So we will do a lot of due diligence for clients. We'll focus on them. Most of our business is actually off market and acquisition work, a lot of acquisition work. There's just a lot of things that need to change in our industry, particularly in the UK.
So I'm interested to know, you guys say, you're obviously relatively new in comparison to some of the other estate agents that have been doing it for 4 decades. What makes you kind of stand out against them? Is it a mindset thing? Have you got a completely different mindset to an organisation that's been going on for 40, 50 years?
We are incredibly entrepreneurial, and our people are allowed to be personal brands. You in our business, you are on top of the platform. You are the closest person to the customer because you are the person that they speak to, whether it's digitally or in person. No one walks around with a DDRE baseball cap all day long or a tattoo on their forehead. They are their business. I've been saying this to everybody, like, very important entrepreneurial skills and recognizing that you are a business. You are your own CFO. It depends where you put your money. You're your own marketing CMO, essentially, where you're producing content, and you're the CEO making decisions about how you want to make money or be more successful. So that's our attitude to business, and we want our people to shine.
And then you had the opportunity to do this Netflix show. Tell us how Buying London came about. What were the conversations like, and what were your thoughts going into that?
Loads of thoughts.
I bet.
I've been producing content on social media for about 9 years now. And so I was always on the periphery of media, and people were approaching me to do loads of different things. And that came about because really we've got the key to the city. And what I mean by that is we can access very expensive homes. And people trust us on camera, particularly me. And so that opportunity was born for those reasons. And also London's this sort of jewelry box that no one gets to see the inside of things. And so we open that up for people. And I think London looks amazing in the show. Feelings around it was that it was a calculated risk. And when you make calculated risk decisions, there's upside and downside. And you're constantly flexing between the two. But I felt that the overarching feeling was this will be a net benefit for the business.
I was going to ask that. Was there ever a point where you were just like, God, this could go really wrong, and just show, I mean, not saying that there are bad sides of you and the
Sure.
company, but it could really highlight things in that way, but also it could be really beneficial as well?
Yeah, I think that we've all become a little bit accustomed to what social media does and what traditional media looks like and streaming platforms. If I put a camera in your house, okay, for a year, and I filmed, and you're a smart, elegant, charming,
Just about.
young man, yeah, he's professional and great what he does. But if I put a camera in your house for a year, we're going to, and then I snipped it into 12 minutes or whatever it may be, we're going to see that you are a really interesting fellow, right? Not necessarily just the person here. And that's what you go through. But I don't think I'm a bad guy. I don't think that we bring in bad people. Culture is very important to us. And so I felt comfortable with who we are. And that's it. And that was it.
Tell us a bit about the process then, you know, having those cameras in your home, in your office, to your events, to your work essentially, out on the road as well, 24/7. What was that like for you personally and for you as a business?
It was hard. It was very time consuming. So I had some, I tell you the tricky parts that people don't see, okay, is your day-to-day remains relatively the same, but your evening may be a message at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night to say, hey, you need to be here at 6:30 tomorrow morning, and you know, we need to film something, okay? And I won't go into the details, but I'd have to be there at 6:30 in the morning, and I may have a client call at 7:30 with Asia. These are the things that sort of knock your calendar, your attitude, your feeling around stuff, and that's tricky. That bit's tricky. Being on camera is not tricky. You should be yourself.
You obviously got a lot of personalities that came across in the show as well. Some people might then watch it and go, oh, well, you know, their personality's picked for a Netflix show and that's what makes it drama. But actually, as we mentioned, personalities are hugely important in the real estate industry. And is that your kind of...
Well, it's because it's an individual who's selling a service. And so the most successful real estate agents often have polarizing characteristics and personalities, right? You may love them, you may hate them, But if you're a middle ground person and you're trying to please everybody all the time, you're never going to have a core set of people that love you and adore you and actually really want to do business with you. And it's very strange for a businessman to say love and adore you, right? But I genuinely love and adore my clients, and I'd like to think they do that too. That's the thing about the past 30 years in agency. All the best real estate agents that I've met are strong characters, really strong characters. Look at the guys here. Look at the guys and girls in Dubai.
And in the show, you came out to Dubai. You featured part of Dubai in the show as well. Just tell us a bit about why Dubai became a part of the show and how important that was for you as well.
Well, we could have gone anywhere, is the truth. We could have gone to the US, we could have gone to Switzerland, Italy. We could have gone anywhere. It was very important for us that we went abroad because our client base is abroad.
Sure.
And we are a global business because we're so connected. We want to come to Dubai because we recognize that it's a very, very important part of the world nowadays. And it is a hub for the Superprime market. It's a place of importance, whether it's wealth coming here or wealth that will be leaving. Yeah, it's a very important place. The Middle East in general is very important. So we wanted to do that. It's not because I wanted to get a better suntan in the middle of the year. I hope that answers your question.
I mean, you've got a lot of connections out here. You've been visiting the region for a long time, and so, like you said, you could have gone anywhere, but Dubai specifically was the location you chose to kind of have that show in. What was the reason for that?
It's a hot market. I'll give you an example. We have acquired two of the most expensive homes in Dubai for clients, very quietly. It hasn't been in the press. And
in the region of price?
One was over 30, the other one was over $40 million. And some other things. We did about $150 million worth of deals in the Middle East over the past 18 months. Our clients want to be here. It's a relatively new market for a lot of clients. And so they wanted to choose people that they felt comfortable with in terms of decision making, because the thing about Dubai is it's like walking into a sweet shop, okay? And when you walk into a sweet shop and you want to buy chocolate, there's loads of chocolates to buy, and you're getting enticed by all these different wrappers. Really, you want someone to give you advice on what to buy. And so that's why they came to us. And so going to Dubai on the show, to answer your question, was just it was a sign to everybody to say, hey, if you're looking to buy in Dubai, we've got access to Dubai. Come and speak to me, and we'll see if we can help you.
What has been your experience over the years, and particularly recently as well, of selling property here in Dubai? How have you found it?
I found it fun. It's ferociously competitive in a different way to the UK, but somewhat similar. When you go to the UK and you want to buy a home over £10 million, you'll meet the same 15 people.
Right.
When you come to Dubai and you want to buy a home over $10 million, whatever it may be, it's plausible that you'll meet the same 10, 15 people. So it's a very similar game. But you're being pulled from pillar to post, and everyone's learning these new cities, these new environments, and the USPs, and why should we be there, and what's the developer like, is the build quality good, will they be on time? There's so many things to consider, because the new build market in London is practically zero at that level of the marketplace. So doing business in Dubai is ferocious but fun.
Where do you kind of see the market currently in Dubai from kind of what you've studied and whilst you've kind of spent some time out here? Where do you see it currently?
If you benchmark Dubai values to London values, London starts to look pretty reasonable, okay? That's a sign to me, when you look at global investors, they're looking at values and they're going to say to themselves, at what point do we think it's reaching a bit of a climax, yeah? I think we're probably getting there. Do I think there's still growth? Of course I do, but probably not necessarily in price value, but in finding different markets.
Think it's too expensive?
I think it's getting very expensive. Like $3,500 a foot on some real estate here is big money, especially when you use it. There's a I wouldn't say it was a tax, but you could live in Dubai for 7 months of the year, 10 months of the year, comfortably. But it still means that you have to be away for 2 months of the year. And for people who have budgets between $1 million and $5 million, like they have to find another place to live. They can't just go on their boat, on their yacht for 2 months and sail around the Med. So these are considerations that people have when they're, or should have, when they're looking to buy real estate in Dubai.
You say it's getting expensive. Do you think, though, it's going to get to that point where, you know, kind of clients that you deal with just go, you know what, it's just not worth it. Like, it's just too much. It's a bit silly now.
Every market says that. People say that about London. They'll say that about New York. Say that about Miami. Like, it just doesn't go. Just doesn't keep going. London doesn't keep going. You know, I've been in markets that have been super hot. 2021 during COVID, we had a market that was ferocious. 20% of the froth of value came off since then. Like, markets don't just go up. So there'll be some plateauing at some point. I would just be very cautious about what you buy.
For an expat, particularly for a Brit looking to move over to the UAE, we've seen a huge influx of British people in particular moving out to the UAE. What advice would you give them who are potentially looking to buy a property out here?
I would say look for constrained markets. Find something that is difficult to replicate, not easy to replicate. That's the thing that I would focus on. That's the advice I give my clients, and then we'll go and do what we need to do. But find tension in the market, and that's the place that you really need to invest in. I tell you what I find really interesting about Dubai is that the wealth creation here is going to, you'll recognize wealth creation in 5 years' time. And how is that going to impact the market in Dubai? Where will it go post-Dubai, if it goes to Abu Dhabi, or where else is it going to go? Because the globalization of investment is going to be really interesting. But wealth creation here is going to be, you'll see true foundation of wealth creation over the next 5 years.
What are your clients some who are out here, some who are in other parts of the Middle East, across the GCC, what are they kind of looking for right now? What's their kind of ideal property, or where do they want to spend their money?
So the clients that I meet in the Middle East are interested in investing in Europe. Okay, they're already here. They own land here. They're doing JVs with developers. They've got exposure to the Middle East. They've got exposure where they need to have exposure. They can get it pretty quickly and pretty easily. And in many instances, it's already been played through. Yeah. So now it's about their risk appetite and where they see value in other places. And whilst wealthy and successful people have this sort of global mindset, I think that's going to come to the middle market very soon. And
how often do you get people in London going, Daniel, need you to find me a place out in the Middle East, find me something?
They don't say the Middle East. They're rarely indifferent.
Yeah.
They're pretty committed to, this is where I'm going, and I'm going because my friends are there. I'm going there because there's a good business opportunity. There's an incentive for us to be there. So they're very committed to a place. It's very rarely is it sort of
broad brush, yeah,
super broad, like, oh, we'd consider Dubai or Abu Dhabi or somewhere in Saudi.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work that way.
So how often do people go to you, right, Daniel, I need you to find me a place in Dubai?
Recognize that my client base is 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million homes. It probably happens once every quarter.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you find that kind of process then, getting out here, finding something, appeasing them?
The trickiest thing for agents here is collating the right information and making sure that it's correct, and then being able to actually get commitment from people. Because if you're buying in a new development, it's a different story. There's an incentive for the developer to sell the product. But if you're buying from a homeowner, it's very tricky, very, very tricky. But what Dubai is doing, I love how they're attacking transparency in information, because more transparency creates more fluidity in the marketplace, and that just helps everybody involved. Although some people don't want they don't want information out in the public domain.
When we talk about agents, particular, and the job that they do out here, do you think that there are any threats to real estate agents across the UAE?
I think there's threats to real estate agents across the world. If your business doesn't allow you to build your personal brand, then I fear for your role in the future, because I'm not entirely sure what value you're going to deliver to the customer or to the client or to the business. And as there's a couple of pillars that we really think about in our business, which is people don't like dealing with strangers. Information is more freely available than ever before, and you want to do things quickly and efficiently. That's going to happen with individuals, but I'm a bit concerned that estate agencies are going to use the data that they have on the system that's inputted by people to sort of create models that do a lot of the work for agents. What we want to do as the business is enable our agents with great technology and media so that they can grow their businesses, and they are the business. I'm concerned that people work the other way, and that is the only way that agents can really protect themselves if they produce content.
So then what would be your advice to real estate agents out here, where there are so many, a huge market of real estate agents out here? What specific advice would you give them to make it a success, like yourself?
Produce content, have a very loyal customer base. The thing about real estate agents is that they chase new business all the time, where actually if you focused on the customers that you've already worked with, you'll find that you will build a community around people that already trust you. And that is a very safe place to be. They need to focus a little bit more on the people they've already done business with. Much more, actually. They're the things that I would say they need to do.
We've seen a huge number of millionaires leaving the UK. I think it's...
No, we haven't.
Well, the data shows that it's second to China.
Yep.
In terms of people leaving the UK, and a lot coming out here.
Yep.
To the UAE. For you, is that a bit of a worry? Do you kind of fear about that?
Look, it's not a great thing for the UK, but every market ebbs and flows. Every market ebbs and flows. So we'll see this happen, and there may be a change at some point. You know, we get very caught up in the moment, and I'm not really that interested in the moment unless I'm taking advantage of it. The reason why so many people leave in the UK is that they don't like certain things. And people, i.e. the tax situation and the weather, you can't do anything about the weather, albeit I don't think the weather's that bad. The thing about it is that in today's world, you can build your business online. And I saw this in 2020, I saw this happening. Yeah. I saw how young people have access to the internet, and they're qualified and they know what they're doing, and they can build businesses very quickly online, especially with crypto and things like that. It means that young people who don't have the responsibility of raising children can live anywhere in the world. So they're going to choose where that's going to be. They're going to choose warm climates, good infrastructure, good tax policy, and safety. Okay? And then when they get a bit older, they start thinking about good schooling and stuff like that. The UAE is a wonderful place now for entrepreneurs who want to set up their business, be connected, be in an inspirational environment where everyone's trying to go and get it. And I think that's an amazing thing, okay? And now other places in the Middle East are trying to entice more people to them to do the same thing, and I don't blame them. And if I was younger, I'd probably consider doing it myself. Human capital is very valuable. And I think the Middle East is going through a renaissance. I'm more concerned about the wars that are taking place in the Middle East and if that's going to impact markets. And when you talk about safety, I think London gets a lot of grief for its position on safety. Like you'll see a lot of content on social media about these guys on bicycles stealing phones out of people's hands.
So just picking up on that point of millionaires leaving the UK, you must, yes, you are a global brand, and yes, you operate, you know, in many parts of the world, but you must see that. You must see fewer millionaires in the UK who are then interested in properties that you look to sell.
So most of our clients are multi-millionaires / billionaires. You're probably down about 60% on transactional volume in the UK over £10 million. What's happening? What are those people doing? What are they thinking about? Are they not selling and looking to buy somewhere else? Are they renting somewhere else to see what the world is doing? Are they making commitment? You know, that's the thing that we're looking at. It's not really the millionaire market that we're looking at, okay? The top end of the market's a different story. Most of our clients have 5, 6 homes around the world. Facilitating that is interesting. Watching them go where they want to go. Switzerland, Italy, Monaco, UAE, you know, they're the places mainly that they're going. Are they renting or buying there? Renting is a soft commitment. Buying is a big commitment. Most are renting. They want to try it first, unless they feel that that market is booming, and then they'll buy and they'll ride the wave of asset inflation. These are the things that people are thinking about. I've bought a lot of real estate in the Middle East for clients. They think it's a great place to be, and they love coming here. So it's not just party vibe, but it's family. They feel secure. They love it. Okay, but they're still not sure. I saw how clients a decade ago left for Monaco. 90% of those clients went back to London. Like, just, this is a moment in time. This is why I think it's very important to recognize the people that are coming here that are building businesses and wealth creation here will be really valuable to the UAE.
Think that could happen here? People heading back
Sure.
to the UK, heading back to their home countries?
I mean, I've already heard that people are thinking about going back to Russia. Yeah, you can see that.
Reason for that?
It's home. It's home, you know. Like, they want to be at home. Maybe there's a vested interest. Maybe they want to really help their country. You know, there's loads of different reasons why people go home.
But then there's a lot of reasons to stay out here as well. The attractiveness of staying in the UAE.
But that is every country's main goal, right? Should be to incentivize people to stay. That's exactly what's going on in the world. Is every country is trying to find the reasons for people to stay in its country.
And when you compare the UAE to the world in terms of doing that,
it's exceptional.
Does it pretty well?
Yeah, super duper well. Well, look at the amount of people that are coming here to live, and all my friends that have come here, that have come to do the UAE to live, whether it be Abu Dhabi or Dubai, are super happy. I mean, I went to a barbecue at a friend's place the other day, and he was the happiest man I've ever seen in my life. He was smiling from ear to ear. He said it's just a blessing. He loves it, you know, absolutely loves it. And he bounces between London and Dubai. But if he could run around London with the UAE flag, he would do that.
I want to come back to your thoughts on helping real estate agents here in the UAE. It's a very saturated market. You said it's probably going to get more saturated in the future. What can a real estate agent do to stand out?
Well, when you have a business model that doesn't pay salaries, and anyone can be a real estate agent, it's infinite. Like, anyone can be a real estate agent. My other half could be a real estate agent here, right? If she got her license. It is imperative that they build their digital footprint. Okay, the mistake that agents make is, particularly in Dubai, okay, is they go onto social media channels and they go, "Come to Dubai, you'll get amazing returns," and all this sort of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, as the customer and the client, like, I'm already looking to come to Dubai. You don't have to push an open door, but what you should be doing is advising clients. over social channels. This is my advice. This is what I would do if I was a buyer coming to Dubai. And if you're looking to buy for an investment, or you're looking to buy for a home, this is what I would do. I'd probably rent for a year. And whilst you rent for a year, go and taste the different neighborhoods and see what you like, and the schools. Understand it a little bit better. You may miss a little bit of the capital increase in value, but then again, you've got safety in your opinion, in your view, and you'll feel comfortable to make that bigger commitment. That's what they should be doing. Don't go come to Dubai. Like, they're already coming. You know this, but very important. Your digital profile is very, very important. The reason for it is not just to entice clients to buy real estate, but it is a form of research now. So, for instance, if you're single and you're dating and your friend sends to you, hey, I've got a girl that you should meet, or whatever it may be, the first thing you'll do is you'll go on to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and you'll find out everything about that person that you can find out: where they go, who they're with, what they like doing, what music they like. And this is a form of reference. It's like a dating app, right? To a certain extent, of knowing whether or not that person is right for you. It's the same consideration when people look to make a commitment and doing business with somebody. What do they like? What's their reputation like? Who do they know? Where do they go? Is this person a good fit for me and what I desire? And all this sort of stuff is really important.
When it comes to potential threats to
Yeah.
the sector out here, but also people working in the sector, what do you see that could be potential threat to the sector?
So with more transparency of data, and more data being entered into CRMs that are owned by agencies, they may look to turn that data into a direct-to-customer approach without using agents, okay? Because they're going to be much more profitable if they can do it that way. It is very important real estate agents know who it is they're working for, and that group of people are very committed in making sure that those agents will succeed, as opposed to, we want to be more profitable and we want to find every reason to cut out the agent because they're the most expensive part of the transaction.
Is that why do you think that the UK model works better?
No, I think the UK model works terribly for the future of people, the actual service provider. I believe the agents are still going to be around, they're still going to do their thing, and they are a crucial part of the transaction, whether it be lettings or sales. The more significant the transaction, the more you want a person's involvement, okay? Because there's more accountability, there's more trust, and you feel that you have someone to lean on. But in the UK, everyone runs off a CRM that they don't own, and they put all their information in the CRM, and the businesses that are struggling with their overheads, cost of sale, everything's being squeezed, they're going to try and find value somewhere else. And everyone knows that data is extremely valuable. And if the company can reduce its cost by not having as many people, what they'll do is they'll incentivize a smaller group of people in the business that can do 3 times the amount of work. And it means that more people will lose their roles. So the value add proposition now for real estate agents is to build their own digital footprint and make sure that they're working in an industry, in a business that is an enabler to their success and loves the person. This is vitally important.
There's only really going to be a handful of agents across the UAE, right, who are really special, are really going to hit the big time, and they're the ones who are working hard, putting in the effort. You know, you can't be lazy in this industry, right?
No. I tell you what I find really interesting is that it took me 20 years to really get to a point where I'm working on behalf of clients that are very keen to work with me, okay? And it's a great place to be. And I'm really pleased that I put that graft in. The thing about today's world when you can produce content is the people who are unbelievably consistent and very good at what they do will be more successful. We know that. But in today's world, when you can create a piece of content that can go viral or can meet the right person, because the world's gone from 6 degrees of separation to probably 2 or 3, it means you're much closer to the customer. Well, that means you produce a piece of content, you may actually hit somebody with it. And if you do, and it's the right person, you could do a 10, 20, 30, 40, $100 million deal. It is plausible, it is possible. And if that is, what we may find is that the people who are unbelievably consistent will retain their consistency, but there may be the one-off black swan event that will occur more frequently and therefore not be black swan events. So if you go to other parts of the market, for instance, in the UK, there was a kid who's 19 who did a £21 million deal. Now, no one's ever seen that before. No one's ever seen that before. And it's because of the value of network. Now your digital network and your in-person network becomes unbelievably valuable and can create opportunities for you that you could never imagine.
Final few questions from me.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the Netflix show. Did it really help you or bring you a lot of kind of business, from a business perspective, doing that show, or any regrets from it at all?
Okay. Did it affect the business in a positive way? Yes. Did we get a lot of business from it? Yes. Have I met some of the most influential people on the planet because of the show, because they're aware of who I am now and my expertise? Yes. Like the most incredible people I could ever have wished for. Actually, I would never have imagined to have met, okay? Who are now close with me in the DM, talking about incredible things. Changing the world kind of things. And it's purely because of the awareness that it created. We did the TV thing because we felt it was going to have a positive impact on the business, which it did, but also because we don't want to be strangers. Strangers in today's world carry the most risk for anyone who's important, okay? A stranger in your household is the person that you trust least. When you're an ultra high net worth, strangers don't work with you. You come through a closed network of people. I don't want to be a stranger. I want to be known. I want people to know who I am, and that's why we did it. If I look back at it, was it a fair example of our business? No, it's a snapshot. It's a tiny look through the window, through the crevice of a curtain, yeah, that's just open. But if you were to see me do my work on a day-to-day basis, it'd be really different. Really different.
So, potential for a second season?
No, we're not going to do a second season, not for now. But you never know. Maybe something else on the cards.
Can I ask the reason behind that? Is that something that you have decided that, you know what, that's something we don't want to do? Was it a Netflix decision? What's the kind of conversation there?
It's a tricky one to answer.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask you then a bit about, finally, this was the one question I wanted to know. John Caldwell.
Never heard of him. Yeah.
Managed to sell his house
in
the end?
No, he's not actively looking to sell, but you never know.
Because it's a pretty big property.
That's one of the most expensive homes in the world. But we have a couple of those that we've got access to. The thing about it is that everything is for sale.
If the price is right?
Yeah. And if you know the right person who can get you through the door.
How does that feel, having some of the world's most expensive properties in your kind of radar and portfolio?
How's it feel?
Yeah, what's that feeling like? I mean, I can't ever put myself in your shoes and think like, right, what does it feel like to be the person selling some of the world's most expensive properties?
I'm not entirely sure people are going to believe this, okay? But the thing that gets me most excited is having someone's trust. Where they say, Daniel, you're the person that I would like to do something with that I may never do again in my life, okay? It's one of the most important things that I'll ever do for me, my family, and the people around me. That, for me, is the most inspiring thing ever. Yeah, and I take a lot of pride and we do as a business, a lot of pride in what we do. A lot. Like, I want everybody to be unbelievably on point, know the information, look incredibly great, be a great representation of our clients, do things properly, and be excellent, because there's a lot of pride in what we do, in the service that we deliver for the people that we do business for. And I love that. I love that someone trusts me or trusts someone in our business with that very crucial moment in their lives. And we definitely don't underestimate it.
Most expensive property you sold?
Where in the world?
Ever?
A couple over $100 million.
Where were they?
In the UK.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were under offer on something recently for, it would have been something like $145 million, but in mainland Europe. And then here in the Middle East, we've done three of the largest, I would say, top 10 transactions in the Middle East. We've done three of them.
It's a testament to your success from council estate boy to where you are now. It must be a real kind of, yes, pinch me moments, but really kind of inspiring to yourself. You must be proud of yourself. Do you ever give yourself enough credit?
No. My mum as a kid, my mum taught me loads. My mum said to me, and I mentioned this earlier, she grabbed me one day and she said to me, this was after watching me play football. Like, and I came off the pitch. She very rarely watched me play football because she doesn't like the cold. And I came off the pitch one day and she said, what's up? And I said, yeah, I scored 3 and set up 2. And she says, no, what's wrong? And I said, what do you mean? She said, if you're going to play football, if you're going to do anything in your life, you better do it to the best of your ability. Or don't do it at all. And so everything I do, I try and do to the best of my ability. And if it's not good enough, I will keep working at it and we will keep doing it. And that means that, like, it's constant evolution, constantly trying to improve. And I love that. It's a Japanese culture trait. It's like every day, moment of improvement every single day. And so I absolutely love my journey. I do it really for the story. I can't wait to maybe write a book when I'm 80 or 90 years old, or tell my grandchildren, hopefully one day, about this is what Granddad did. And that's what I love.
And for now then, what does the future look like? Does the grind continue? You keep working hard, keep acquiring some of the world's biggest properties, most expensive properties. What does the kind of future look like for Daniel Daggers and DDRE?
Thank you for asking that question. We want to enable real estate agents to be the most successful people on the planet at real estate, at delivering a service. And that is what we want to commit to. So if you're an agent of talent or a person of talent that really wants to be phenomenally successful by offering an amazing service and being supported by an incredible business that can open doors, but also support you with technology and media, we want to be the place to be.
You must get a lot of people getting in touch though. How do you filter out the ones who are really special that can work there?
I think we've got something like 3,600 CVs that we have to cipher through because people are so interested in what we do. What I like about the Netflix show is that if you looked at UK real estate over the past 30, 40 years, there was nothing cool, sexy, fun, interesting, and inspirational about it. If you looked at it, it was about men in terrible suits with holes in their jumpers walking around and showing property in a discerning way, but it wasn't fun. And last time I checked, when I do business, I want to have fun when I do business. My clients want to have fun. They want it to be cool. They want it to be sexy. It's one of the most proud moments of your lives when you're buying a new home or an investment. We are making that happen in the UK. And whilst there's lots of cool and sexy and fun here in Dubai, there isn't necessarily in the UK. But we can bring other things from the UK that we've got to Dubai and other markets. And that's what I'm really excited about.